It takes only about 5 minutes spent almost anywhere to see it. See what? Christians and the culture are clashing. It's alarming, but rest assured, it isn't new. The Bible gives us an ancient and powerful, and may I add, hopeful example for living in a hostile culture. Hello friends, I'm Kim Crabill, delighted to welcome you back to Strengthen Your Walk and our series, Dancing on Your Dash, discerning when and discovering how God has choreographed our daily steps to fulfill His incredible plan that He has declared for each of our lives. Last time, we met Daniel as a new exile in a godless culture. His devotion to God was helping him dance on that fine line of knowing how much to conform to the ways of his new home and how to respectfully resist. He must have danced on that line with tremendous grace because as we read in the Old Testament book of Daniel, the king had big plans for Daniel's promotion. But the king's advisors weren't happy about that, and so they looked for a way to smear Daniel's reputation. But there was a problem. Daniel was found blameless. His only flaw was his faith in God. The advisors, therefore, manipulated the king into passing a decree that anyone who prayed to any god or human during the next 30 days, except for the majesty, the king, would be thrown into a lion's den. Well, now what would Daniel do? Well, what did he do? In Daniel 6:10 through 12, we read, 3 times a day, he got down on his knees and he prayed, giving thanks to his God, just as he had done before. Of course, we know what troublemakers will do. They ran to tell, and so the schemers ran to tell the king, and the king was distressed. But his position required that he uphold the law he had signed. So into the lion's den went Daniel. The king's last words to Daniel were, "May your God, whom you serve continually, rescue you." After a sleepless night, the king hurried at dawn to the lion's den and called out, "Daniel, Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve continually, been able to rescue you from the lions?" We know from our Bible that God did indeed rescue Daniel. And it should be noted that Daniel didn't have even a scratch on him. Friend, we may not face the threat of a lion's den, but we do sometimes face the kinds of opposition that can bring our dash dance to a quick and painful halt. There are those who see us struggle to do good or to be good and sneer, and I thought she was a Christian. There are scoffers who will notice our faith being tested and snort, "Let's see how pious those God lovers are now." Some people will be jealous of your faith. Some will find it offensive. Some will be mystified that we continue to cling to God in the most excruciating times. We'll be tempted to hide our faith, abandon the dance, at least for a while, and become wallflowers, invisible and feeling safe. But Daniel, instead of hiding his acts of devotion to God, he prayed in front of an open window as he had always done, offering a clear view to one and all of how much he loved his God. We'll be tempted to wound those who wound us, to lash out. But we didn't see that from Daniel either. There is no record of his retaliation with words or schemes against the accusers. He remained respectful to the king and wished good things for him, including the greatest good of all, that the king would come to know God. Daniel's example compels us to ask, what will we do when we're dancing to please the Lord, but the culture tries to cut in on our dance? Here's one thing we can do. We can pray and ask God to help us dance with Him in such a way that those who reject Him will be drawn into the beauty of His dance. Well, I look forward to seeing you next time, friends. And I want you to remember, you can strengthen your walk by saying yes to the one who invites you to dance.